How to get free real estate. I thought that was crazy. Why would somebody give you the most expensive thing in their life and just hand it over to you? I just wanted money so bad. I was so broke. I'm like, I need money, I need money, I need money. He's like, dude, you're playing the short game. Not only is all learning state dependent, all of your results are belief driven. Like for instance, I didn't believe that creative finance worked. I didn't believe that you can have somebody say, give me your house, and they're like, okay, here's my house. I thought that was crazy. Why would somebody give you the most expensive thing in their life and just hand it over to you? Leave their mortgage in place and just hand you the keys? That's crazy, right? But it happens all the time. I started seeing other people do it, then eventually I did it. I changed my belief. And if you want a new result, you gotta get a new belief, okay? But I didn't believe it at first. But if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. When I first got into the business, this is the first thing my mentor started teaching me. He called it transactional engineering, right? And the way he gets so mad at me because I wanted to wholesale. I just wanted money so bad. I was so broke. I'm like, I need money, I need money, I need money. He's like, dude, you're playing the short game. You're not actually real estate investing when you're wholesaling. You're just flipping contracts. So I got to get you in this mindset because you're going to get told no a lot. You're going to make these cash offers. You're going to get told no. And then that lead will be dead and you're going to move on to the next one. And you're going to be hustling forever. And you might make $1 million, $2 million in a year, whatever, but you're never going to get really wealthy and you're never going to be free. And so he used to sit down on this rickety whiteboard and just time and time again, if the seller situation is like this, here are your options. If they do this, then here's 3 more things that you got to think of. And it was like, he was teaching me how to, as I was talking to somebody about their house or their situation, these little like profit centers were like popping up in my head. Like, oh, if they want this and they need this and here's their situation, then I just pull these 2 or 3 levers and then all of a sudden this thing opens up. And that was transactional engineering. And so I got good at that, and let's just throw them out there. Cole said some of them I heard. So what are some creative real estate strategies? Lease options, seller finance, sub 2, wraparound mortgage, novation. What about agreement for sale? Contract for deed, AITD. Could you use trusts in creative ways to do creative real estate? There's a lot of tools out there, and if you're showing up and you only have one tool in your tool belt, that cash offer tool, you're gonna miss out on a lot of deals, all right? So let's just take a small step back right now and just come from a super high level and then we'll zoom in. How much wealth do you build from just owning one rental property, okay? Let's just run the numbers, okay? Imaginary deal, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,700 square foot, 10,000 square foot lot, built in 1978. So like a bread and butter working class type of house. Decent condition, doesn't really need much, some paint and carpet maybe. All right, it's pretty much rental ready. I put it into our little mortgage calculator. Acquisition cost assumptions. I'm gonna pay $200,000 for this house and I'm gonna get a conventional loan, right? This is like the standard way to buy a rental. $200,000 house, $1,000 in taxes, insurance, management costs. There's some repairs when we move in. There's gonna be some closing costs. Put you at a 7.35% cap rate. All right. We're gonna put 20% down, finance the other 80%. So we're gonna borrow $160,000. We're gonna put 42 grand down to get into the deal. It's gonna be a 4% interest rate for 30 years. Okay, standard purchase of a rental. Monthly rents, we're gonna be pretty conservative, $1,500 a month. All right. Every year it's gonna go up by 3%. We're gonna have a 5% vacancy. So in the first year, you're gonna get $371 in cash flow. I'll show you what we're gonna, more of the numbers here in a second. But in the second year, it goes up a little bit because of the rent inflation. If you held it for 30 years, you would get $373,000. That's a lot of cash flow, right? Not bad. Now, at the end of 30 years, you're gonna sell the property and you're gonna sell it for $250,000. You're gonna pay some real estate commissions, some closing costs, and you're gonna put in your pocket between the sale proceeds and the rent that you collected over the 30 years, you're gonna have $572,274 that you brought in from that rental. For nerds like me, I like to know the ratios. So the purchase cap rate is 6.81%. You get paid back in less than 8 years. Okay, for that 42 grand, you're gonna get that back in less than 8 years. You have an operating expense ratio of 22%, that's excellent. Interest carry ratio, debt coverage ratio, all these are great, right? We could get a lot better, but they're pretty good for a standard $200,000 rental. So, this is what it looks like, $572,274, 30 years. What about 5 houses? If we bought 5 houses at the exact same moment, held them for 30 years, all the identical, sold them 30 years later, all at the same moment, you bring in $5 million, or $2.8 million. What about 25 houses? How much do you think you're gonna bring in? 14 million. What about 100 houses? 57 million. And there's other unseen benefits, right? What about depreciation? IRS gives us 27.5 years to own these assets, or to depreciate these assets. So that's $200 per year for a $200,000 house that you can write off against the income. And then you got all these other expenses that you also get to write off. So are there benefits to owning rental property? A lot of benefits. There's a lot of money. And that's one of the things, when Cole and I sat in the back of the van, I think he was just blown away because he was asking me all these stats about my businesses and I knew them all. And he was like, who are you? Why do you know all these analytics and things? I said, it's because I stare at it every day. I have this CEO dashboard that I just look at and I know whether somebody's playing full out. It's very easy for me to talk to somebody and say, dude, you didn't make your calls. You're not hitting the text. I know because I can see your numbers are way down. So creative real estate investing, it's any non-traditional investing or financing strategy allows you to bypass banks and just do a deal with the seller. Said another way, it's seller-assisted financing. And here's the truth. In real estate, we do not have a money problem. We have a what? Creativity problem. And Lyle just kept saying that over and over. Cody, you're not gonna have a money problem. When you sit down and you offer it the right way and you show the seller the path to why they would want to do this creative deal with you, it's your creativity problem that's gonna get them to say yes, not the amount of money that's in the deal. And it took me a while to understand that, but then once it clicked, I was like, okay, I gotta be this transactional engineer. This is how I'm gonna get really wealthy.